Imagine waking up in your city apartment, opening the curtains, and seeing sunlight not just as a source of warmth and light, but as a personal, money-saving power station right outside your window. Now, imagine that with a simple plug, your own living space becomes part of a vast, decentralized network of clean energy. No need for a sprawling rooftop, no construction headaches, and certainly no landlord negotiations. What if a single socket on your balcony could empower you to cut your energy bill in half, or even more, without any technical expertise? This is not a futuristic fantasy. Around the globe, a quiet yet profound revolution is unfolding, as millions of city dwellers transform their homes into miniature green power plants. This is the story of balcony solar, and it is far more significant than you might think. Let's rewind the clock to understand how we arrived at this pivotal moment. For decades, solar power seemed reserved for those with large suburban homes or rural properties, places with generous roof space and friendly local regulations. The classic image was always a roof, gleaming with blue-black panels, quietly soaking up the sun. But for millions of people living in densely packed cities, often in rented apartments or high-rise buildings, that dream felt permanently out of reach. The barriers were tangible: no roof access, restrictive building codes, and the challenge of convincing a landlord to invest in a system that might take years to pay off. The breakthrough, as with so many technological revolutions, began decades ago. Back in the year 1954, the brilliant minds at Bell Labs unveiled the world's first silicon photovoltaic cell, a device that could, for the first time, turn sunlight directly into usable electricity for several hours each day. This single invention sparked the modern age of solar technology, setting off a wave of research, innovation, and hope for a cleaner future. But the journey from invention to widespread adoption was anything but straightforward. During the energy crises of the 1970s, as oil prices soared and environmental worries grew, governments and scientists renewed their focus on alternative energy. Investments poured into solar research. Slowly, the efficiency of photovoltaic panels crept upward. In the 1990s, typical panels converted only about 14% of sunlight into electricity. Today, thanks to relentless scientific progress, many commercially available panels boast efficiencies as high as 23%. A staggering leap that means more power from less space and much lower costs for consumers. This has led to a global explosion in solar energy adoption. Governments around the world, recognizing both the environmental imperative and the economic opportunity, began offering powerful incentives to encourage solar installation. Take Germany, for example. The Renewable Energy Sources Act, introduced at the dawn of the 21st century, guaranteed favorable rates for solar electricity fed back into the grid. The United States followed suit with policies like the investment tax credit, spurring a solar boom from California to New Jersey. The numbers tell the story. As of the year 2022, small-scale rooftop solar installations in the United States alone powered approximately 5.7 million homes, a tenfold jump over just a single decade. In Germany, the picture is even more dramatic, with the country consistently ranking among the world's leaders in installed solar capacity per capita. And yet, despite these advances, millions of city residents, renters, condominium owners, students, and seniors remained locked out of the solar revolution. The core problem was simple: if you do not own the roof, you cannot install a traditional solar array. Even if you did, the costs and bureaucracy could be overwhelming. It was a classic case of technological promise running up against social and structural reality. Enter balcony solar, a deceptively simple, brilliantly innovative solution that is breaking down these barriers at lightning speed. Here's how it works. Instead of requiring access to a large roof or yard, small modular solar panels, sometimes as compact as a suitcase, are designed to be mounted on balconies, hung from railings, or even positioned on terraces and window ledges. These panels are then plugged directly into a standard household socket, instantly feeding clean electricity into the home's circuits. No need for invasive construction, no lengthy permitting process, and, perhaps most importantly for millions, no requirement for landlord permission. For the first time, city dwellers can take the energy transition into their own hands, literally. Consider Germany, the epicenter of the balcony solar movement. In the heart of cities like Berlin, Munich, and Hamburg, you will now see apartment blocks shimmering with hundreds of tiny solar panels, each one representing a household taking charge of its energy future. As of the first half of 2024, official data shows that over 220,000 plug-in photovoltaic devices were installed in Germany in just 6 months. Cumulatively, More than 1.5 million apartments across the country are now generating their own solar power, often enough to cover a significant portion of their electricity needs. Peter Stratmann, a leading German energy regulator, highlights the transformative potential. A well-positioned balcony system can now cover roughly 15% of a household's electricity consumption. That is not just a small saving, it is a real, tangible difference for families facing rising energy costs. The phenomenon is not limited to Germany. Across Europe, the movement is accelerating at a remarkable pace. In cities from Paris to Milan, from Amsterdam to Vienna, balcony solar kits are flying off the shelves. The reasons are clear. European energy prices have surged in recent years, partly due to geopolitical tensions and the transition away from fossil fuels. For many, the chance to reduce bills and shrink their carbon footprint is irresistible. The technology itself is evolving rapidly. Companies like Anchor, EcoFlow, and POWAFREE are at the forefront, offering plug-and-play solar kits that are not only efficient but also stylish, blending seamlessly with urban living spaces. Some panels can be installed in under half an hour, requiring nothing more than a few brackets and a nearby socket. Innovations in microinverter technology mean that even panels partially shaded by neighboring buildings can contribute meaningfully to household energy production. Helena Hullenweger, a prominent renewable energy researcher, puts it succinctly: balcony solar makes the energy transition tangible. It is not just about policy or infrastructure. It is about empowering individuals to actively reduce their consumption, their costs, and their impact on the planet. But as with any revolution, the path is not without obstacles. In some parts of the world, regulatory walls are proving stubbornly resilient. Take the United Kingdom, for example. Here, plug-in solar is, for the moment, strictly forbidden. The reasons are varied: concerns about electrical safety, worries about the aesthetics of building facades, and strict building codes that require all electrical work to be performed by licensed professionals. Gemma Grimes, Director of Policy at Solar Energy UK, explains, "It is important to fully understand the risks, including structural safety, consumer safety, and even the practicalities of where sockets are located. We do not typically have electrical outlets installed on balconies in the UK, which complicates things further." Yet the winds of change are blowing. The UK government has announced a comprehensive safety study, with the explicit aim of unlocking opportunities for plug-in solar in the coming years. Policymakers see balcony solar as a potential linchpin in the goal of tripling the nation's solar capacity by the year 2030. Across the Atlantic, the United States faces its own unique set of barriers. Unlike Germany, there is currently no national safety standard for plug-in panels, and the country's patchwork electrical grid poses technical challenges. For instance, many American homes lack ground fault circuit interrupters, devices that can instantly cut off power in the event of a fault, greatly reducing the risk of electric shock. Regulators caution that what works in Germany cannot simply be copy-pasted to the US context. Still, change is afoot. States like Utah have begun introducing legislation to encourage greater uptake of balcony solar, and industry groups are lobbying for clear, unified standards. The stakes could hardly be higher. If the barriers can be overcome, balcony solar has the potential to transform energy access for tens of millions of urban residents worldwide. Imagine the scale. In Germany alone, over 1.5 million apartments already have balcony solar systems. If similar adoption rates were achieved in other countries with large urban populations, France, Italy, Spain, and the United States, the impact on both household budgets and national carbon emissions would be dramatic. But the challenges ahead are real. Safety remains the top concern. Rupert Mayer, an expert in distributed energy systems, warns, "Preventing unwanted electricity from flowing back into the grid will require careful system design and constant monitoring. Plug-in devices must be engineered to avoid causing harm not just to the user, but to the broader electrical network." Consumer education is equally critical. Without clear guidelines, some homeowners may attempt to install systems incorrectly, raising the risk of fire, electric shock, or even damage to the building's electrical infrastructure. That is why leading organizations are pushing for rigorous certification, robust instructions, and public awareness campaigns. On the opportunity side, a wave of new business models is emerging. Some companies now offer subscription-based balcony solar kits. For a modest monthly fee, you receive a complete system, with installation, maintenance, and even insurance included. Others are developing integrated storage batteries, allowing users to store solar energy generated during the day and use it in the evening, further increasing potential savings. Daniela Schubert, an energy policy expert, predicts, We may soon see employers offering balcony solar systems as a perk for people working from home. It is about giving individuals real agency in the energy transition and creating a new kind of workplace benefit that reflects the values of the 21st century. Meanwhile, technologists are looking ahead to even more exciting possibilities. Imagine balcony solar panels seamlessly integrated with smart home systems, automatically adjusting energy usage based on weather forecasts and real-time consumption data. Yorgos Toumanidis, a specialist in smart grid technology, envisions a future where balcony power plants communicate directly with household appliances, optimizing energy flows and maximizing efficiency. In such a scenario, even small-scale solar could play a major role in balancing urban electricity demand, reducing pressure on central grids, and making cities more resilient to blackouts and price shocks. The environmental implications are just as profound. By decentralizing power generation and putting it in the hands of millions, balcony solar could dramatically reduce the need for fossil fuel-based peaker plants, those expensive, high-emission generators that kick in during times of peak demand. Widespread adoption could slash urban carbon footprints and accelerate progress toward national and global climate goals. But let's not overlook the broader social impact. For far too long, the clean energy revolution has been seen as the preserve of the wealthy or the well-connected. Balcony solar flips this narrative on its head. In places like Germany, over 1.5 million apartments, many of them rented by students, pensioners, and working families, are now part of the solution. If other countries follow suit, millions more could benefit. Lower bills, increased energy independence, and a direct stake in the transition to a greener world. What can you, as a city dweller or concerned citizen, do with this knowledge? The first step is to stay informed. Monitor policy changes in your country, city, or even your apartment building. Lobby your local representatives for clear, simple regulations that allow plug-in solar while prioritizing consumer safety. If you are fortunate enough to live where balcony solar is permitted, thoroughly research kits from reputable manufacturers, ensure they carry appropriate certifications, and always follow the installation instructions to the letter. If you are not able to install panels yourself, consider supporting community solar projects, where neighbors pool resources to build shared installations, or simply spread the word about these innovations in your network. For those interested in the numbers, let us look at the economics. In Germany, a typical balcony solar kit, producing up to the legal limit of 800 watts, can cost as little as several hundred euros and pay for itself in energy savings within just a few years. With energy prices trending higher across Europe, the return on investment is becoming ever more attractive. Multiply that by millions of households, and you have a grassroots energy movement that is both economically and environmentally transformative. Of course, there are still hurdles to overcome. In some countries, building codes restrict visible modifications to facades, or limit the weight and positioning of panels on balconies. Insurance requirements, landlord permissions, and local utility rules can still pose obstacles, but the trend lines are clear. With ongoing pressure from both consumers and innovators, regulatory frameworks are beginning to adapt. Zakari Abdullahi, a leading voice in building codes, emphasizes that regulations must evolve to support the widespread adoption of balcony solar, ensuring safety while removing unnecessary barriers. Looking ahead, the prospects are dazzling. Technological advancements are on the horizon that promise to make solar panels even more efficient, affordable, and adaptable. One breakthrough to watch is perovskite technology, a new class of solar material that could soon eclipse traditional silicon in both cost and performance. Perovskite panels are lighter, easier to manufacture, and can be integrated into a wide variety of surfaces, from glass windows to flexible fabrics. Some of the most advanced balcony solar kits now incorporate perovskite layers, enabling higher efficiency even on cloudy days or in shaded urban environments. Integration with smart home devices is another major trend. Imagine a future where your balcony solar system is connected to a home energy management hub, which automatically shifts your washing machine or dishwasher to run when the sun is shining brightest. Or picture an app that tracks your real-time solar production, sends you notifications about optimal usage times, and even lets you sell excess power to your neighbors. With the rise of the Internet of Things, these scenarios are fast becoming reality. And what about the global picture? Community solar initiatives, where groups of residents collectively invest in local solar projects, are expanding rapidly. These models offer a pathway for those without suitable balconies or rooftops to participate in the clean energy transition. In the United States, community solar projects now account for a growing share of new solar capacity, providing affordable, renewable energy to underserved populations. Of course, every revolution faces resistance. In some places, utilities worry about the impact of thousands of small, decentralized generators on grid stability. Others raise concerns about market disruption or the challenge of integrating intermittent solar power with traditional energy sources. But as history shows, technology tends to move faster than regulation, and consumer demand, once awakened, is a powerful force. So, will balcony solar revolutionize urban energy access? The answer is a resounding yes, but only if regulators, innovators, and everyday citizens all play their part. The technology is here, improving every year, and the regulatory walls are beginning to crumble. As energy prices continue to rise and climate concerns grow more urgent, what was once a niche gadget is now poised to become a pillar of city life, a symbol of distributed empowerment and environmental action. Here's a little-known fact. Some of the most advanced balcony solar panels now use cutting-edge perovskite technology, a breakthrough material that could soon make solar panels lighter, more affordable, and even more efficient, even when the sun hides behind city clouds. The pace of innovation is breathtaking, with research labs and companies racing to push the boundaries of what is possible. In the end, the story of balcony solar is about more than technology or economics. It is about agency, the power of individuals and communities to shape their own energy destiny. It is about bringing the benefits of the green transition to everyone, not just the privileged few. And it is about reimagining the city itself, not as a passive consumer of energy, but as a vibrant, interconnected ecosystem of tiny power plants, each one contributing to a cleaner, brighter future. If you found this topic illuminating, do not forget to subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Could you see yourself embracing balcony solar? What would it take to bring this revolution